I'm an actor. I can direct. I can, yes, but I'd rather not. I'm lazy. I just want to say my lines, not hit the furniture, and walk away and collect my money. That's all I want. I was in New York. I was doing theater in New York. I was working with the last living member of of Stanislavski's Russian Repertory Theater in New York. He was the last member, and he suggested that I do Chekhov and I go to Circle in the Square. I went to Circle in the Square, and I was married at the time, and I was trying to get away from my wife. So I bought a one-way ticket to Paris. I got a signed letter from Preminger, but if I was there, I would do the part of a priest and the cardinal, right? And there was an agent there that I was supposed to see, but she was doing the collections in Italy, so I didn't know what to do, and so I started dubbing films. And there was a girl there who said, "You should join this theater group," So I was already doing Chekhov, so I did Chekhov for them and did that for a while. And suddenly a guy came to see Chekhov and offered me a film. And I said, "Okay, what is it?" And he said, "It's a Western." A Western? Don't be crazy, man. I mean, you just watched me do Chekhov and you want me to do a Western? He said, "Have you looked in the mirror lately?" He's right, I'm a cowboy. I was born in Denver, but I grew up in a ranch in Colorado, so yes, I'm a cowboy, okay. Came back the next night and offered me a film, 5 films, the contracts for 5 films. The first film we did, I had to do a stunt because I'm very tall, I'm 6'4", or probably now I'm 5'2", but I was 6'4", so I couldn't have a stunt double. So I did this stunt where I fell off a cliff with the horse and threw the horse off to the side and did this Hitchcockian long-ass, master. And then I got up after the whole thing was over and I was bruised and I was bleeding and I was really messed up. And the director said, "Oh God, that was great." And I said, "Thank you." And he said, "Can you give me another?" And I went, "You want another? You do it your own damn self, man. I'm not doing that again." So he took me back to the office and he tore my contracts in half. Only the one I was working on was the only one I was going to do for him. And I thought, okay, that's fine. One film's fine, I got home that night, I get a call from William Morris, and they said, "Do you want an agent?" I said, "Not really. I'm doing just fine without one, thank you." And they said, No. I said, "Well, who is this?" And he said, "David Niven Jr." I said, "David Niven's kid? You got me." Okay, I'm yours. 6 years I was with David, and he was great for me. He got me double the money that I was doing for the film that I had finished. But MGM bought it for America. The first spaghetti Western ever sold to America was called $5,000 on One Ace, right? Or Pistolero de Arizona, or another bunch of titles, And David sent me down to do another stunt thing on a stagecoach. We went back to the office, and there on his desk were all my contracts, not redone, Scotch taped and very pristinely left in front of me, right? And he said, "What are we doing next?"
Cinerama hurls you into the most extraordinary days of World War II, into the biggest battle of the mightiest war men have ever fought. Battle of the Bulge.
I just kept working and working and working. Battle of the Bulge really got me over the hump. I was Henry Fonda's pilot. Hank, he became a really close friend of mine, you know. And he said, you got to come back. You'll make it in America. You'll make it. And I said, I don't like working in Hollywood. I don't like the concept of electricians here and this and that. It's just too segregated. I like a family, and then that's the thing I like about working in Italy or in Europe in general, is that when you work, you're a family and you create together. And so I won't say it's art, but I will say it's a hell of a lot more comfortable than Hollywood, you know. You know, you can ask an extra and he might have a great idea for that coming scene that seems to work. And the director, everybody listens, you know. We had all these directors who listened. We just made it up as we went along, and we ad-libbed. We of course stuck with the script, with the idea of the script, but we ad-libbed a lot of stuff. And by doing that, it became real, it became natural instead of stilted acting. You know, I didn't want to do that. You know.
I don't exactly love life. But I'm afraid. I'm afraid to die.
I like Mularja because he was one of those guys of the family who really listened and really took the bait, as they say, and created something well. That was El Puro, and Roselle Beneri was my leading lady in that one.
If I send one off to a better life, there's always another to take his place.
I'm Captain Chris Tanner. I came from Washington for the Gatlin affair.
Christopher Tanner, this court has found you guilty of high treason.
Of course, John Ireland was in it. Anything I was doing, John was in. I met him with the guy who wrote Battle of the Bulge, a guy named John Melson. And he said, Ireland wants to know if he can be in one of your films. And I said, oh, come on, I'll eat him alive. You know, that's what and he was sitting there. And he said, you won't eat me alive, I'll get you. And so we did, what did we do? We did a Gatling gun. And all he did was try to upstage me. We just had this upstaging contest. It was great. It was really great. And we became incredible friends. I used to come. He threw me a great birthday party at one point. He owned a restaurant in Santa Barbara. And it just became one of those guys who are forever friends, you know. And then he passed away. So, you know, I mean, John and Hank Fonda and Larry Harvey. Just everybody's dying. I'm the only one living. And I'm 86, so, you know. 86, that's the time when you just shovel me out the door, I think. 86 to me. Harry Cook Cushing is the grandson of Cornelia Vanderbilt, or Cornelius Vanderbilt. Very, 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 very rich. I wasn't the playboy of the Western world, but I got around quite a lot over there, and I had some of the most beautiful women in the world, so he saw that and said, oh my God, you got to come and have dinner. So we became really good friends, Harry and I. You know. He had 15 horses because he had played polo. So he said, come out and work my horses. And I said, I don't play polo. And he said, come out, I'll show you how to play. And so I came out and I played, worked in the cage and did the stuff that I needed to do. And then I became part of the team in Aquachitosa, and I played against Prince Philip and a whole lot of really good players. I mean, Prince Philip was not a good player. Prince Philip was one of the guys you let have a berth, you know. Here he comes, move. You know, oh, okay.
Allora, deciditi, vuoi dirmi di che si tratta?
Dovreste liberarmi da un maleficio.
Quale maleficio?
Cushing, he fell in love with Roselle Beneri and they got married.
La mia camicia nuziale. È stata contaminata.
They were married for a week, and then she left him, you know. It was really weird, because I knew she wasn't good. This is not a match made in heaven, trust me. So...
Sarebbe terribile. Sulle nozze cadrebbe un maleficio. Una specie di...
He told me about Rosalba and her leaving and everything. So I had this guy shoot this film, and it's just awful. It's really awful. I need you to correct it, to fix it.
Oddio mio, chi sarà mai?
Come? Non riesci proprio a indovinarlo?
Beh, non ne sono sicuro, ma la voce mi sembra quella di compare Herman.
Ci sei andato vicino. Guarda.
Cara.
And I looked at it and I said, "You're not going to fix this, man. I don't think you're going to." But yeah, okay, I can make it better. I can make it richer. But I'm not crazy about it. I'm not crazy about the acting in it. Even Edmund was not Edmund anymore, for me anyway.
Vuoi un consiglio? Non devi credere mai a ciò che può guastare la tua gioia.
Come si fa?
Se vuoi te lo insegnerò io.
How am I going to fix this? So I said, okay, so that's what I'll do. I'll put in things, and we'll have dailies, and you'll look at the stuff that I did, and you won't know that I did it because it's going to flow with the rest of the stuff. The wood stuff was all disjointed when I saw it, you know. And so we fixed that. We sort of stroked that out. And then he said, no, it's still not right. Why don't you do a role in it? I said, because I do leads. I won't, you know. And he said, come on, don't you love me? Oh, yeah, okay. I love you and I'll do it, all right? So that's how I got stuck. That's how I was placed in the film.
Allora, non vuoi proprio saperne di me, vero? Non avrei mai dovuto innamorarmi così.
It was an attempt to be a classical horror film, really. An attempt, because it didn't quite come off, but it was reasonable. Finally we cured it out, and I think it was pretty reasonable. I never took the credit for co-directing this thing. I mean, everybody knew it, but, and I'll say it in my websites and stuff like that. I did do it, but, I'm not, I gave the other guy credit because it's his film. Rosalba's, she is great. She is really, really, is she a hard nose? Yeah, she's an actress, I had to not respect her because of Harry and all that, because Harry's my buddy, and I loved her. I really loved her a lot. She was very sweet and very good, easy to work with.
Tu?
Già, io mantengo sempre le mie promesse.
Edmund was hung up on a woman. All I ever heard about was this drama that he had with this woman. And which I won't name because I don't want that on here. But but he was fine. We go out to dinner, we had a good time. We had a really good time.
Sono tua.
Devi darmi la prova che lo sei davvero.
Farò tutto quello che vuoi.
Fra te e la felicità che ti attende c'è un ostacolo che bisogna eliminare subito, senza la minima esitazione. Altrimenti io sparirò per sempre, capisci?
There's a good fencing scene that I do with him in the bar.
Sta bene. In guardia.
Così. Guarda questo.
With the girl that I fancied, and finally I get to bed her and all. And I think everybody will like this film. Anybody who likes horror films will like things like fighting. I fought the devil in the end, and I lose, of course, but I fight the devil, and every time I'm facing him, he's behind me. So, you know, there's some nice things in it, some good things.
Ma tu chi sei?
Well, Harry Cushing returned to America. He didn't really have a movie career. I mean, I would say that he's a polo player, an out-of-work polo player with a lot of money. So, you know, basically, you know, his house is lined with masters' paintings and unbelievable stuff. So, you know, I don't think he really gave one damn about the film industry. He liked Rosalba. That was his main thing, you know. And at first it was like, can you get Rosalba for me? And no, I can't, you know. So he got him himself by using this film, I believe, you know. And that was it, you know. At least he got laid. Dick Randall's I've known him for years and years and years and years and years. A great guy, but he's like one of those. Do you want to buy a movie? I've got this great movie. I've got a thing that would be perfect for television. No. Want to buy a watch? That's Dick Randall. Italy was great, man. It was great. My home away from home, you know. Better than any lifestyle anywhere. The lifestyle is much different than anywhere else that I've ever been because they complain about the government, but they don't give a shit, really. You know, it's that way. Everywhere else they complain about the government, then they want to do anarchy, you know. But no, it was just sweet. It was sweet. What I liked most was learning other languages, getting in touch with the people there and knowing who they were, what they are, and what their lifestyle is, and adhering to that, you know. How did I meet Jess Franco? I went to a party and I saw Edmund and Billy at the party, and I said, so where are you going? He said, we're going to go do this film with Jess Franco. It's called Strange Eyes of Dr. Orloff. And I said, oh, that's great. And he said, why don't you come down, man? We have a ball. I mean, it's Barcelona, you know, the Ramblas. There's a lot of stuff to do down there, right? I thought for 5 seconds. And I said, okay, I'll buy a ticket and come down. So I went down. The first thing he did was hire me to do something in the film. I played a hippie in this one, this guitar playing hippie.
Después, eh?
He paid me well. He paid me really well. I was shocked at it, you know. I said, you know, he talked about money in the beginning, and I went, yeah, well, you know, I'm making $60,000 a picture now, you know. And, well, he didn't pay me that much, but he got me 40, so, you know, that wasn't bad. So that was okay. As long as I have enough money to live on till the next film, I'm cool.
Buenas noches.
I did like a bunch of films. One was with Emma Cohen, she won the Best Actress Award in Spain for this film, called The Other Side of the Mirror. And it was quite a good film. There was some good stuff that we did, Jess and I, but then he gives it to the distributor, and the distributor decides to cut other people's dicks into, you know, I mean, and I said, no, I have a contract that says, no, I don't do it. You know, I don't mind being naked because that doesn't bother me. But if you're watching me do it, no, that's a no. We're not doing that. So we got close enough for him to put a double in to have him do it. So that was the end of it for me. I saw the film and I went, Jess, it's not my fault, you know, it's a distributor. Yeah, okay. You want the truth? He was a genius. Because I think he could do a film in a week. I mean, he could literally do a film in a week. His mind worked so well to put something together that worked. And never mind the porn and all this stuff, he really was a good director. He was a talented man. And I loved him, I really did. And I don't know whether he loved me in the end because I was pissed off about the result. But Jess, I was great, genius, absolute genius. You know, anybody who can do a film in a week, I mean, cut it together as he goes and come up with a good result. I mean, those are pretty good films that he did, if you think about it.
Por favor, soy Davy, de Davy Sweet and Brown.
Ah, Davy Sweet and Brown. Recuerdo haber visto su programa en televisión.
¿Le gustó?
Hablándole con sinceridad, prefiero a Lawrence Welk.
He should have been a huge director, yeah.
Eres muy guapa. Yo puedo enseñarte a nadar. ¿Quieres?
Vete. Davy!
Lena, well, that's his lady, really. I liked her. But, you know, what I didn't like is the stuff when they were doing the film that they made into pornography. They were doing some really far out stuff. I wasn't involved in that, though, so it was okay. But Lena would, like, you know, give oral sex to somebody to get the, you know, I mean, it was just nuts, you know. That was nuts, you know. Howard, I loved Howard, he was a good guy. Yeah, he had Callie Hansen. I lived with her for about a month, and then she told me she was going to marry me, and I went right back to Italy. I know this is weird. We went to Gibraltar on a boat, and coming back, she said, you know, I'm going to marry you. That was it. I packed up and went to Italy, went back to Italy.
Porque ser Henry en una noche de borrachera se ha casado. Pero nadie olvida que la nueva Lady Comfort es una bailarina de cabaret.
Alice. When I first arrived on the set, she took me by the hand and dragged me into a bedroom and said, let's get this over. Okay. And we became really good friends, actually, you know. But then she disappeared. I have no idea what happened to her. She does have a website, but that's because she has fans. So, yeah, Elise, man. I still wonder what happened to her. I came to LA to visit some friends, right? Some Italian friends, really, so I could practice my Italian. And was having lunch at Cafe Roma, which is owned by an old friend of mine who owned a discotheque in Rome. And this redhead, this beautiful redhead, walked in, and I was sitting with a friend named Sergio, and I said, Ma questa donna, ma chi è? Who is she? And he said, oh, I know her. She came over, we talked for a while, went back to my place, made love, went out to dinner, and we've been married 42 years. So that's what happened to me. And so I could come back to America. Telly Savalas offered me, a part in one of his series things. And I mean, I had work if I wanted to do it here, you know. I don't like TV much. I've never liked it. So, but, you know, I'm married, and I like to have her be in America with me. And if I go back to Italy, it's going to be, because I have lots of women in Italy, it's going to be strange for her, and I don't want to do that to her. And we'll just move back to America. And I worked a lot, quite a lot. Television mostly. I've been blessed, man. I have had the most blessings, I think, of any actor I've ever known. I could not walk down the street without something happening that was helped me. There was something I loved, you know.